mornings, welcome to a new vlog. It is Sunday afternoon, technically 12 on bank holiday weekend. I've had a very slow morning. I actually only got dressed about 40 minutes ago, which is very unlike me, but it's just been a very slow and relaxed morning. I was about to make myself a matcha and I thought I would turn on the vlog camera and do it with you guys, because if you watched the New York vlog a couple of vlogs ago, you'll have spotted that I actually queued for 40 minutes to try out 12 matcha. Queuing for viral things is just such a New York thing to do, and it is a really cool experience. You get to watch, you watch them making your matcha. They have very carefully studied every step of the matcha making process to ensure that the matcha that they serve is perfect. In the New York vlog I do show the entire thing, so you can definitely try it yourself at home. They actually don't tell you which exact matcha they use. I have no doubt that they will be bringing out their own brand of matcha soon. I read or heard a really crazy stat about the business of matcha. I think it was on the Wellness Scoop podcast, which I really love, Ella Mills and Rhiannon Lambert on the Wellness Scoop. They were saying, I'm sure it was something like the matcha industry, I'm going to have to leave the figures on the screen here, but it's basically going to triple in value into the hundreds of billions, the industry, in the next few years. We already think that matcha is a huge industry, but it's just booming and booming and booming. So I guess 12 matcha in New York are onto something, but I literally took notes and I thought I can't wait to recreate that at home. So that's what I'm going to do. It's super precise, the quantities, and what really interested me was that they actually start with room temperature water. I'll just run through it really quickly because I appreciate that not everyone loves matcha, but I'm going to give it a go. So you start off with 6 grams of matcha powder. I would normally only do 1 teaspoon, but 6 grams is about 4 teaspoons, so it's a lot more matcha powder, which I guess means it's going to be a lot better for me because these are ground up green tea leaves picked when they're very young. They grow in the dark, they are full of goodness. Green tea is an amazing antioxidant polyphenol, so matcha is actually even better for you than green tea because you're consuming the leaf. So I guess the more powder you put in, the better it is for you. So we need to start by weighing out 6 grams of matcha. Okay, so I've weighed this out and you can see there is a lot of matcha in here. This is way more than I would normally use. The next step is to add in 30 ml of water, which is room temperature. So at 12 matcha, they had these big kind of tanks coming down from the ceiling with these huge bits of charcoal, which are purifying the water. I don't have big tanks of water with charcoal to purify, but I do have Harrogate spring water. After our last trip, we're going to start buying Evian. I feel like it just made so much sense learning about the filtration and the minerals there. But anyway, this is more local. So we've got Harrogate spring water, which is as close as I'm going to get to charcoal purified water. And this is room temperature. So I'm going to add in 30 ml of room temperature water and then start whisking. And now we whisk, so you kind of do a W motion. Okay, I've been whisking for about, or Wing for about 45 seconds. There's no lumps left and it's got a little bit, can you see, a little bit of a foam on the top. Now we add 90 ml of water, which is not quite boiling. They said that the temperature that they used was 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, I'll leave the Celsius on the screen here, but I've just left my kettle. It boiled about 5 minutes ago. Okay, I have made a cold foam oat milk in the Ninja. And here's the magic moment. Please don't spill it, Josie. Ah! Gosh, it looks good. Let's give it a try. Okay, I've got to say that is really, really good. It is a little bit more of a process, a ritual, some might say, to make a matcha and to make it properly, but there's something quite mindful about doing that. The one that I used that's in my little pot, I decant it, is this one from 𝑑𝒐𝙬. So it's obviously got the blend of mushrooms in there, so you get that goodness as well. And I did use 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 oat milk. The water, the matcha and the oat milk, obviously the quality of them makes a huge difference. You just want to make sure that your matcha is ceremonial grade. But yeah, I'm enjoying learning more about matcha, and it is really fantastic for you. The health benefits are really good. I want to start to drink it pure as an Americano, which is when you don't have the milk, you just have it as like a pure tea, just with water. But something that I really want to do this afternoon is to make a lilac syrup. Now obviously this takes it from a healthy drink into more of a sweet treat, but lilac is in bloom at the moment, and we've got some at the bottom of our garden. It's such a beautiful, fragrant flower, but it's also completely edible. So I want to make ice cubes, syrup, sugar, shortbread, everything, because it is quite a small window. So that's on the agenda for later today. But as it's a Sunday and a little bit cloudy, I'm gonna head out into the garden later on anyway, but Charlie and I have just got like a huge list of house admin stuff that we need to do. So I'm gonna get cracking with that, and the first job is to tidy our cleaning cupboard. How fun. Created a little chicane or gate, fort some might say, to stop the doggies from going into the living room, because oh, that's me nearly knocking it over. I've just sprinkled bicarb of soda on the edges of our reed mat. This is the rug that we have underneath our pretty pink rug, but over the years, let's just say the boys have taken a liking to it in the middle of the night and relieved themselves. And obviously we clean it every single time, but after a few times we just thought, you know what, there's obviously a scent in there that's a little bit ingrained that's making them continually go in the same places. So I did some research, and the best way to do it fairly naturally is with bicarb soda, which just absorbs all the grossness. So this is to stop the boys from entering for a few hours while it works its magic. Enter the cupboard of doom. When I was researching for my spring clean with me video, which thank you by the way for the love on that video, it performed really well and took a long time to film, so I'm really pleased. But I have really changed how I think about cleaning products in my home, and I've been doing so many more DIYs. What you just saw me make was my all-purpose spray, which I literally used everywhere in the cleaning video. You can use this on glass, on windows, on mirrors, on your kitchen worktops, on your bathroom worktops, and it's literally white vinegar, water and essential oils. I get my white vinegar and my essential oils and my little spritzers from Amazon, and I literally never need to buy all-purpose spray again because it's so easy and so cheap, and you can choose your own fragrance. I love geranium, love it, love it, love it. At the time of filming it hasn't gone live yet, so I don't know if it's already sold out, but if it hasn't, I will again leave my, speaking of geranium, brunch linked down below, which I'm hosting with 𝑑𝒐𝙬 during the Chelsea Flower Show, Wednesday the 21st of May. We're having a geranium themed brunch, and we're going to be doing a geranium basket floral arrangement together. And so if you're in town for the Chelsea Flower Show, or if you live in London, or if you just want to come and hang out and talk about flowers all morning, it's 9:30 till 12:30 on the 21st of May. It is a ticketed event. As I said, I don't know if there are many tickets left, but if there are, then I'll leave the link for that down below. Okay, enough distraction. Let's finish tidying the cleaning cupboard. As you've seen, Charlie has somewhat taken over, but I'm so used to that happening, and to be honest, when it's a tidying task, I don't mind. This is where his OCD actually comes in quite useful. Okay, Charlie's sat on the floor doing a little homeware unboxing. What have you got there, darling?
I now spend my Sundays doing.
Yeah.
So this is actually Strawtop prep.
Yeah.
So we try obviously and get the most out of everything that we have there. But this year we had, so 2 years in, we've had new bedding because the bedding gets washed so many times, and we've had new towels this year for both cottages, which is great. And now is the time to replace the tea towels and the oven gloves that we have there.
They've done pretty well.
They have 3 years, and these are from Sophie Allport. We had a mixture. We actually had a local girl in Atterbury that produced some before, but she stopped doing them. So we've gone back to Sophie Allport, but Sophie Allport's also very good. And these are, yeah, just for the different cottages, we've got different ones. Dickens wants to get involved. But this is the new print that I just thought was quite cute, which has got defenders, cows, sheep and tractors.
I think we need to collaborate with Sophie Allport to do our own version.
We need our own print, definitely. I think we definitely do, but it's having the time for that. But at the moment,
imagine
it's nice.
how cool to have a defender, a thatched cottage, a sausage dog,
I know,
𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅
I know, mate, if anyone's watching from a brand that might be able to make that happen, get in touch. But
isn't
for now,
local?
They're British, definitely British. But yeah, and then obviously these are Arga pads, which go on our own Arga. Yeah. But then obviously we have the Arga at number 2. So yeah, this just feels like quite a nice seasonal one to go on there, which protects the hood.
Lovely.
Do you know, it's something that all these many things that we've kind of learnt from staying in other Airbnbs, that when we've stayed, and we've had great experiences, but we've also often said, for the money, we've been like, disappointing they didn't leave extra toilet roll, disappointing there was no dishwasher tablets.
Well, to toot our own horn, this is what everyone says about Strawtop, that they're blown away by the little details.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not just, you know, it's not just to make the experience great, it's also, it never sits well with me that you have to, for a 3-night stay, go and buy a whole pack of dishwasher tablets. Or for a 3-night stay, you know what I mean? Because everything's sold in bulk. Yeah. And even things like tea towels, we've stayed in ones before where there's no tea towels. So
shocking.
I think it's important that you have these sort of things so people can make the most of the cottage, make the most of the kitchen. There's a reason we've put so many nice things in the kitchens, we can use them. Exactly. So yeah, this is a little update. Well, Dickens, where are you off to?
Enjoy your unboxing, mate.
Dickens.
I'm going to go and scrub our rug. So I sprinkled the bicarb about an hour ago, and now I'm just going to use this. I found it in the cupboard. It's just a light plastic brush, just to give it a little rub in. This has got to be one of the most relaxing things to do on a sunny-ish Sunday in the garden. I have gathered some lovely lilac. It smells absolutely heavenly, and most, if not all, lilac is edible. We've got a white lilac tree over in the corner there as well. But the purple one, I always just think the more colourful the better. If you're picking it from your garden or a friendly neighbour's garden, you just want to make sure that there's no chance anything will have been sprayed on it, and ideally it's not roadside, because car fumes, never the nicest. And I actually don't rinse my lilac because I feel that rinsing things dilutes any of the essential oils in it, and gets rid of some of the flavour and essence. So what I just do is give it a shake, and that'll help to get rid of any dead bits and any potential insects inside. And then, as you've seen, what I'm doing is picking the little buds really carefully one by one so that you don't get any of the green stem, because the stem is actually a little bit bitter. So instead of chucking that whole thing in, it's quite a time-consuming task, but it is a nice relaxing one. You just pick at the stem and pull it out like so, so that you're just left with the little flowers. They are truly so pretty. I think lilac season is probably my favourite, and because we've got Charlie's mum and dad coming to stay in a couple of days, I might do a floral display with some of these bunches as well. But I'll probably do that on Tuesday, because I'm actually not sure how long lasting the flowers are in water. I've never actually used them as a display before, which is crazy because we've got so much of it. Lilac does have lots of benefits. You can actually use the leaves, you can stick them in a bath because they're very good for muscle aches. But then the flower is said to have antimicrobial, good for helping boost your immunity. Some people have said it's actually really good for helping to manage blood sugar and managing diabetes. But, you know, it's always worth doing your own research. This is just some top level things that I have discovered. A lot of people put it in body oils and face creams. And yeah, there's so many uses and so many benefits. It was an ingredient or a flower that they used to use for, what was it? I think it was malaria. Pretty sure it was malaria. But then obviously the pharmaceutical companies realised that they could make more money if they made an artificial version of it. But yeah, if you want to, then you can make a lilac tea, lilac shortbread, lilac honey, lilac syrups. There's so many things you can do. I'm going to make the most of the fact that it's fresh right now, saving the leaves for my bath this evening, and I'm going to brew myself a nice cup of lilac tea. But the good thing about the syrup and the honey is that it will last a lot longer, so even when the season has finished, it's only really just starting, so you've got time. You've probably got a couple of weeks, but you can see some of the, wow, actually on this one some of them have finished, gone over, but a lot of the flowers are still in bud form, so we should have a little bit more time to harvest. Oh, come on sunshine, come out please. I'm just coming down for my favourite task, which is collecting anything edible from the garden for lunch. Now that we are in May, I can pick spinach, I can pick radish. I'm gonna have an omelette. Oh, it's just so satisfying. It's better to eat the radishes regularly as well, because if they get any bigger, they get a bit woody, which is not so nice. And spinach, obviously just so good for you. Okay, sorry for the noise of the kettle in the background, but I'm just going to make myself a lilac tea. Ooh, where's the basket gone? There we go. To enjoy after my lunch. I actually don't know how strong it is, so I'm just going to put a couple of spoonfuls in. They're just so pretty. If you guys can think of any other uses, or if you've tried anything with lilac, please let me know. I just want to make the most of it and enjoy another beautiful seasonal ingredient. Also, if anyone's made this before and knows of any good flavour combos, like could I do lilac and lemon balm, or maybe it would work better with other florals, maybe lilac and dandelion. So I'm not planning on keeping them as a floral feature, but just while I decide what to do with the remainder of the flowers, I probably will spend the whole afternoon doing lilac recipes so we can test them out together. I thought I would just pop them in some water. So while my tea steeps, I'll just give it a few minutes. I've been down to the kitchen garden, as you saw, and I've got some radish and some spinach, and I'm going to make myself a cheesy, spinachy omelette. I've got some cheddar, and I've got some organic free-range eggs. So let's make some lunch. Okay, for 3 or 4 minutes. Smells amazing. Let's see. It's given the water a slight colour, and I had the tiniest bit of honey on this left over from my breakfast, so I thought I'd leave it in there to give a tiny bit of sweetness. Okay, now I'm finally going to make my syrup, and this does have to infuse for 24 hours overnight in the fridge. So you need around 350 ml of honey, and I'm going to use this California native mountain wildflower honey because, to be honest, this needs heating up. This jar is a pain in the butt, and it's always so stiff to open, so I thought I'm just going to use this one up. Around 250 ml of warm water so that the honey can infuse, around 50 grams of your lilac flower, and about 5 frozen blueberries as well, and this will just help to give your syrup a really nice colour. So it's super easy. Let's start by mixing the honey and the water. Okay, so this is my honey, water, lilac and blueberry mixture. You can see pretty much most of the lilac and blueberries are floating to the top, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to pop this in the fridge now. You can do 24 to 48 hours, in which time I'm going to order some little bottles from Amazon that I can use to pour directly. So maybe something with a spout, I don't know, but yeah, this is going to go in the fridge and we'll try it out tomorrow. I forgot to report back on the tea earlier, but it is so delicious. It's got a really subtle florally taste, almost a little bit lavendery. I've just poured in that tiny little bit of honey that was left over from the big jar that I did the mixing in and added it to the tea, and now it is even more delicious, a little bit sweeter. And there was also a tiny bit of honey left in here. Oh, nearly dropped it, which obviously I don't want to waste. So I've added some matcha powder in there, and I'm just going to whiz it up. I am using boiling water in this case because the honey is going to need to melt down. Top up my tea as well. Whizzing up the matcha. And you guessed it, I'm making my matcha chia pudding in here, but I won't need the maple syrup because I've got the honey, but I love a dash of cinnamon, some plant-based milk. I prefer almond milk, but all I've got in the house at the moment is this, which is actually not even the organic version, so I don't buy this one anymore because it's not organic. And oats, it is actually really important that they are organic because they are sprayed in the field with glyphosate otherwise to dry them out, so you really do want organic oats. And then chia seeds, and I just eyeball it. Chia seeds are so good for you for breakfast, especially because they're really high in fibre. Great if you've done a morning workout. So I've prepared that all in this jar, which is leaking. That just sprayed all over me. I don't really understand how. How is that squirting so much? That's so weird. Is there a hole in it? It's a faulty jar. Okay, I'm not going to shake that anymore. I love that I tried it 3 times. Oh yeah, I forgot. The whole reason why I wanted to get rid of this honey is because the lid just doesn't unscrew. Oh lordy. Oh lordy. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this and put it in the fridge, eat it tomorrow, and then chuck out this jar. Oh dear, I have honey matcha everywhere. Now, as per usual, I could easily get quite carried away with various recipes, but I've got a good handful of lilac flower left that I already de-stemmed today. And in my cupboard, I've got some jam sugar. So I'm going to make a lovely lilac jam. I thought this could be so nice to have with some scones. How lovely. With Charlie's mum and dad when they come on Tuesday. So we need water, lilac flowers, the pectin jelly, and then a little bit of lime or lemon juice, all of which I've got in the house. So let's get going. Super easy. I'm going to let these infuse in the water for 10 minutes before I add in the sugar. We're reaching the end of the 10 minutes, and just like I did with the syrup adding blueberries, I'm adding a couple of blackberries and raspberries in here, which will of course add flavour to the jam, but it'll also add some colour to the jam too, because the lilacs do lose their colour in this process. So this is going to be a really lovely infusion. Lilac and berry jelly. Yummy! Okay, this has been simmering for about 12 minutes. I'm going to add this to the blender, and then I'm going to strain just the liquid back into here. Now I want it to come up to boil for 1 minute, so I'm moving it to the higher heat. Okay, this has boiled for 1 minute, and so, oh, I've got some seeds in there. Hang on, let me rinse that out again. Pouring this into the jar. Oh, I did a little bit too much, and I'm actually going to pop a few little flowers onto this, or into this I should say, because it will look extra cute. Well, my lilac flowers unfortunately already turning brown. That's what happens with heat. But this is going to be so lovely. I think on a scone this is just going to be such a treat. So that's going to go in the fridge. They do say it could take up to a week to set, but judging how mine's already starting, I think it could be as little as a few hours. So I can't wait to try that. Maybe I'll have a little bit on toast tomorrow as well. Please excuse the noise of that helicopter in the background. I've decided to have an impromptu shoe tidy out, clear out, because I've just been putting away the shoes that I wore in New York, which Charlie very kindly has cleaned for me, and boy oh boy did they need it. These are the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 trainers from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 𝑴𝒆. So really good for your feet, but also enough support that they were perfect for wearing on the days, in fact every day I did over 30,000 steps in New York. These were a bit grim and a bit smelly, so I'm really grateful that Charlie cleaned them for me. But yeah, I was just rearranging a bit and I thought I would show you what I'm doing. I have got, I mean, I can see my Saint Laurent trainers at the back here, which I, to be honest, completely forgot about. I think I need this to be the trainer drawer. I have got these amazing big sliding shoe drawers, which are really, really cool, but it makes sense for the boots to be on the top, although we're going into summer. So maybe I should do a seasonal switch over. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just get everything out. I have got a cupboard next door as well, but traditionally I've had trainers on the top, which does make sense. I think I need to have a little bit of a clear out anyway. Some of these I just haven't worn in a really long time or haven't worn at all. I forgot about these. These are from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. My most worn 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 boots, I don't think I've unpacked them yet, but they're basically like this, but more of a toffee colour. And I love them. Yeah, I have got quite a few pairs of boots, but I think just because of the season, height-wise, I think they will, yeah, height-wise, I think most of my boots will fit on this lower shelf, except for those ones. So, I'm pretty sure these, oh my gosh, they have never been worn. These are 𝑐 by Chloe, I think. I always make mistakes with 𝑐 by Chloe boots or shoes. I hope I don't make the same mistake with these trainers, which are 𝑐 by Chloe, because I keep buying shoes from them thinking I love them and then not wearing them. But I do love them. I just haven't worn them yet. So aside from these boots, which are also 𝑐 by Chloe, and I've probably worn them once, they're quite tall, so I will leave them in the back. Yeah, I think I'll leave this top shelf as my trainer section. Does that feel like a waste? I've just always had trainers up here. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I do actually now have too many pairs of trainers. for someone that isn't actually a huge trainer lover, I'm going to have to double these up a little bit. And where are my favourite Vivos? These are actually my two favourites. So we've got the 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂 Barefoots in the coconut. I love them. Yeah, we're going to have to double up. And then we've got my 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂, which I've not worn out the house yet. I need to get to wear them. I've just found more shoes from my suitcases. These are very kind of creased up and very well worn, my Gucci loafers, but my goodness, were they a good investment. I love those and they're so versatile. I really need to scratch my face, but I've now touched the bottom of so many shoes. Both of my 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 shoes that I took to Evian, the Sneakerinas, which I love, and my brown and white shoes, trainers, these both went in the washing machine after we got back, so they're now perfectly clean again. I love it when you can put shoes in the washing machine. Oh, itchy face, super annoying. Oh, I'm really running out of room here. But this looks so much better, doesn't it? So much more organised. I have got another set of this just next door in that little cupboard. So I might do those now as well, seeing as I'm on a roll. But I think it's really clear here what my favourite kinds of shoes are. I love pointed toe mules like this. I actually haven't worn these as much since moving to the Cotswolds. They were probably my most worn shoes when I lived in London. I actually have two pairs of them. These ones are so old, they're kind of curling up at the end like genie slippers, and you can see that Dickens actually chewed that one back when he was a puppy dog. So yeah, they're like 8 years old, and I wore them on a really torrentially rainy trip to Positano years ago, literally 10 years ago, and they got a bit wash damaged, 𝑭𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏. I also love, I got a new pair, also 𝑑𝒐𝙗𝒻. I think they're all, oh no, the other pointy ones are Nicholas Kirkwood, but these are so nice, especially with the cropped white jeans I've been loving wearing lately. I'm very new to the world of loafers, so I got some affordable ones from H&M. Haven't worn them out of the house yet, but I have been styling them up quite a lot. And then here, oops, these are just really versatile from Studio by Charlotte. Love those. Got my boots at the back and my favourite 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 barefoot geos, as I showed you earlier, and then the trainers on the top. The best friend that you'll ever have for your footwear. Liquid proof. This is what I spray on anything that is suede because it protects it. You can walk through puddles, and as long as you've got suede spray on, you'll be okay. So I'm going to pop all of my sprays down here together. Okay, so aside from the taller boots, here is my entire shoe collection. Actually, this is not my entire shoe collection. I've got a few scattered around, like I've got my Dior shoes up here. I don't know where they should live, but they're so pretty, I don't want to put them away. I've got special ones here like my Mac and Max. I've got my wedding shoes over here, not only reserved for the wedding. I've worn them a few times since then, my Valentino rock studs. And some pretty shoes from Manolo that I tend to wear at Christmas. What else have we got in here? These were gifted to me by Jimmy Choo as potential wedding shoes, but I didn't actually end up wearing them on my wedding day because I didn't get changed. So one of them's got the bow on the back and one of them's got the bow on the front. They're a bit annoying actually underneath the jumpers, so I might put them in a cupboard. But yeah, so basically this is the new organisation. I just did a bit of fiddling around. I tried to put slightly more autumny, wintry shoes over here, so lots of browns, closed toes, and anything fluffy like my Uggs or my fabulous, you can just see them sticking out there, little Chloe woody sandals. And then this side is more summery. As you can see, I've got way more summer shoes. So many of these are very well worn, very well loved. A few favourites to pull out. Obviously my 𝑭𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒅 sandals, the Orans, and I've got them in this colour now as well. Did I not buy myself a second pair? I feel like I did. And then we've got my probably most worn of all time summer shoes from 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂, Valentino Rockstud sandals. I still love those. And then down here, more sandals, espadrilles, and a few more mule styles. Then in this bag here, and it doesn't look very ceremonious, everything chucked in, are a few shoes that I want to get rid of. Oh, I had to double check then. I was like, surely I'm not getting rid of 𝑭𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒅 Oran sandals. No, I found these dupes. I mean, they're not even dupes. They are full-on copycats on Amazon. And I bought them, and I just don't wear them because obviously they're copies. So I just wear my real things when I want to wear them. But got really excited when I saw them, and I just instantly added to basket. They were a fraction of the price, obviously. I will leave them linked down below in case you want something that is literally the 𝑭𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒅 sandals. These I'm very, very sad about. I love them. They've got the pearls in the heel, Nicholas Kirkwood, but they are strappy, like the straps go up your leg, and I have never worn them. How ridiculous is that? I just noticed them and I was like, oh, I've been putting off getting rid of them, but I know that I need to. Another pair of 𝑭𝒔𝒊𝒏𝒅 dupes. I've got some of these which I just don't really wear things like that anymore. The dupes, Amazon dupes of the, what were they called? 𝑭𝒊𝒅𝒏𝒅. And then these I bought in the Net-a-Porter sale. They're from 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂. And tragically, again, oh, maybe I've worn them once on one trip, but I'm a bit of a creature of habit when it comes to summer sandals. So yeah, a few things in this bag that I am going to be removing from my collection. I will leave a link down below as to where you can shop some of my wardrobe pieces. I list them on a website called Reliked, and that money goes to charity. So yeah, if you want to shop any of my shoesies, I'll leave them linked down below. I have changed outfit for the evening, nice and cozy. As you just saw, I have done a monstrous, ginormous wardrobe switchover. This is usually where my winter coats are. I took them all out and packaged them all away before going away on these two trips. And I have just put my summer dresses in here. So many favourites from last year that I can't wait to wear again this year. From my lovely 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂 dresses, a few Zimmermans, yeah, a few Amazons, a few H&M, a real mixture. So it's nice to have them all out again. I also was about to put this away. It's got like a fabric label on it, which I might take off, but I could not recommend this any more highly. I used it on the airplane there and back to New York, sleeping fast asleep both times. It's from a company called Drowsy, and it is a padded silk eye mask, but also because it wraps around your head, it doesn't move, it's complete blackout, and it also kind of muffles the sounds as well if you don't want a full-on earphone, or if you've got ear pods in, then this would kind of secure them in place. So I'll leave this link down below. I love this pinky colour. Apologies, my battery died mid-sentence, but I think I was just telling you that those lovely Drowsy silk masks come in different colours, one of which is pistachio. They've got the rose, I think black as well, navy, and they're great. I'm going to take my makeup off now, and Charlie's just finishing cooking downstairs. We are having a homemade curry this evening. He's marinated chicken breasts in that delicious Gymkhana butter chicken that you can get either from the Harrods food hall, or I think you can get it in maybe Waitrose and M&S as well. Probably should have started by mentioning those two, but I picked it up in the Harrods food hall, and it's so good. If I lived in London, I think a Gymkhana delivery would be my dream most evenings. But as always, I am going to, ooh, nearly trip over, use my face halo And then I've still got my, this is why I put my liquids in bags like this, because can you see my purple shampoo has actually leaked. Very carefully extract my lovely Eve Lom cleansing oil. As a reminder, my Josie 20 code should still work on this and any other Eve Lom products that you might need to top up on. Gosh, I was so exhausted on that evening in New York when I talked through my skincare with you, but boy oh boy, there is something just so invigorating about all the essential oils within this. The smell is so good. I think this is my favourite product to cleanse my face that I have ever used. Ever. It's not as thick and heavy as a cleansing balm, so it just, I don't know, it feels more like every day, whereas to me sometimes a cleansing balm, I love them, but they do feel like a treat, and it almost feels like, I don't know, this just feels a little bit more of an everyday cleanser, but it is still a treat because it's got those gorgeous oils in it. It smells amazing, super hydrating, and I like the fact that as well as cleansing, it's actually repairing my skin and helping to build the barrier. It's so lovely. So if you've not tried Eve Lom cleansers, if you want to step up that part of your skincare routine, I could not recommend this one any more highly. And now quick mist with a Rose Bioactive Reviving Face Mist from Sentiana. I went to the manoir with them probably this time last year. It's really nice and calming. At the end of the day, it's a lovely calming thing to do, to mist your face with rose water at the end of the day. Need to get my hair cut and coloured ASAP. And then I'm just finishing with the Renewal Treatment Oil, a favourite from Eve Lom. And it's so nice just having this on your skin, absorbing over an evening. And then I take a view when I come to bed if my skin needs anything else. Whether it's more oil or a face cream. Normally I'll do an eye cream or something. And if it's been a few hours, if we've been out for a walk, I might wipe over my face with a toner and then do serums and things as well. But I find an oil, if you're quite lazy like me and you just want one product to do it all, hydrate and treat, then an oil is your best friend. Okay, I'm gonna go and have dinner. You guys don't need to see that, very boring. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, my darlings. It's now Monday morning. I've had a lovely, very tough, glutes-focused Pilates with Chloe. Where have I put the car key? And my car, I couldn't actually unlock it this morning, so I've driven in the old Defender. Phew! It's always 50-50 as to whether it's actually going to start. I feel like I've completely cleared out the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 garden centre. I've bought lots of little plants and some beautiful flowers. So I'm going to do a nice little flower display when we get home. But lovely Rory is coming over to the house for a quick coffee, and then we are all heading out to do the 3 Hills walk. It's basically one day a year. It's for charity, and one day a year. Please don't indicate to come in here because I'm blocking your way. Yeah, today is the 3 Hills walk in our village. so Rory's going to pop over and we're going to do that together, which should be lots of fun. Unfortunately, it's not super sunny today, but we'll wrap up warm and it should be a lovely day out in the fresh air. Okay, my shopping, which I'll very quickly put away before Rory gets here. I've got a geranium, some English mace, which apparently is great for even putting in soups. I thought that would be lovely. So 3 of those and some lily of the valley. Beeswax candles, after speaking to the honey guy at our village fair the other day. I thought it'd be nice to swap our regular candles for beeswax in the living room. Kefir and cream because it was on offer. Milk, sugar for my lilac cookies. Cheddar cheese and unsalted butter for my cookies. Hello my darlings. I always think I look so dorky when I wear a hat, like I'm trying to be sporty, but actually I'm really not very sporty. So I have just been making or putting together a lavender sugar. We had a great time on the walk. I think it was, I don't know how far, but 25,000 steps, which compared to what we were doing in New York is actually not too much. But the 3 hills in our village, the land on them is private, but one day a year the landowners allow the village to walk over the 3 hills, and we donate to charity for the privilege, and we all have like a burger at the end. So that's what we've just been doing. And then while we were chatting to Rory here in the kitchen over a coffee, I have been picking the blooms of some more lilac. I've put some in that jar of sugar, and then I've got the sugar that I got from 𝑭𝒆𝒂𝒕 this morning, and I'm going to make some shortbread cookies later because the sun is currently shining and I have not done anywhere near enough gardening this weekend. So I'm going to carry on what I was doing in the last video, which is pruning my lavender. I also really need to water the greenhouse and sow some more seeds, sort out the raised beds a little bit, plant out my cornflower, plant out more poppies, plant the things that I bought from 𝑭𝒆𝒂𝒕 this morning. So there is plenty to be getting on with. Like I need a little break from the gardening, so I'm just going to put together my flower display with some of the lovely blooms that I bought from 𝑭𝒆𝒂𝒕 this morning. I also have earmarked some of the viburnum that we've got in a bush over there, so I might add some of that in, but as always I'm just going to start with some chicken wire for the support, which will help keep the stems in place, and I've already got water in my vase. Wow, I am so pleased with how this has turned out. I love the combo of purple and white, half of it foraged, half of it bought from the Daylesford Flower Market, but surprisingly delphiniums and nigella are actually, do you know what, I'm just going to take it inside before the wind blows it over. 2 seconds. Obviously quite dark in here at this time of day, but look how dramatic it looks in our entrance area. So beautiful. This table can really handle a big striking flower display, and I don't know if any of you guys are thinking this as well, but this is very reminiscent of our wedding flowers. These white delphiniums will just always remind me of our wedding flowers, and we had a purple and white theme as well. We actually had some alliums in our wedding flowers, and I could definitely put some alliums from the garden in here as well, but they're just so beautiful in the garden. I don't think I want to cut them just yet. I'll leave us to enjoy them out there a little bit longer. But yeah, these were £3.50 a stem, which is obviously not cheap, but for a display as kind of big and statement as this, I honestly think if you were to get a florist to come and do something like this in your house, you'd be paying maybe £300, and this won't last that long. The lilac in particular is not good as a cut flower. As I said, it's just because we've got Charlie's mum and dad coming over tomorrow that I wanted to have something big and beautiful in the house. But I love this, my first really big statement spring flower display. And this is pretty much the footprint for what I like to do, get a few statement blooms from a flower shop and then supplement it with things that I've foraged, all things that we grow in our garden, and with the viburnum as well. I just love that. I'm so glad that our bush is nice and big this year. So yeah, really pleased with that. Hello my darlings. Gosh, I look like a fisherman now, don't I? I've done another hour or so of gardening off camera, just the boring stuff, deadheading and pruning of things and moving some things around, and I actually dread to think what my hair looks like, so I might keep my cap on, but I'm now going to finally make my lilac shortbread, which potentially could become lilac jammy dodgers. How amazing does that sound? So last year, I'm just checking my own blog post. If you type in, well, I'll leave it linked down below. Actually, I'll leave a QR code on the screen here. You can scan it with your phone in the camera app, and that will take you to my rose and rhubarb jammy dodger recipe. This is the post on my blog, and I am essentially swapping out the rhubarb jam for my lilac jelly that I made yesterday, and I'm also going to throw in a few of the lilac petals that I plucked earlier into the actual shortbread, just like I do the dried rose petals. I think this is going to be so delicious, but I'm going to confess, I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. Well, I'm not cheating. I'm going to do it all in my Thermomix, but my blog post tells you how to do it without a Thermomix. You probably would need a blender though, so that's worth bearing in mind. But let's get cracking. First of all, I need to wash my hands. I think these are going to be seriously delicious, so I can't wait to try it. I don't know if they'll turn out purple or slightly pink because of the rose petals I'm going to put in as well. If I've got rose petals, if not, they're just going to be pure lilac jammy dodgers. Gosh, these lilacs smell so good. I'm going to start by adding in a handful and blending with 25 grams of caster sugar. Oops, forgot to stop, never mind. And we have now got some lovely lilac sugar, which would also be wonderful for sprinkling on top of cakes. You could so easily just make up some lilac sugar if you've foraged some. Sprinkle it on cupcakes. Oh my gosh, I could make lilac ice cream. Now there's an idea. Oh my gosh, lilac ice cream. Oh, I think I might have to do that. Now my recipe is perhaps a little bit unusual because I actually add in long grain rice, which just really adds to the texture of the shortbread. This is now like powdered rice. Just adding that to the bowl. And now the more traditional ingredients, 115 grams of unsalted butter, which I have left out for an hour or so, so it's slightly soft. I always find it funny when it says unsalted butter in the recipe and then it asks you to put in a pinch of sea salt. And our mixture of lilac sugar. Okay, that's all mixed and it's got a very subtle lilac flavour, but I'm just going to add the tiniest little bit of rose water, just a teaspoon, maybe a tiny bit more. And now this has just got to go in the fridge for 15 minutes before I shape it into my jammy dodgers. Okay, I'm going a bit freestyle with a pasta sauce. I am doing mostly my garlic tomatoey pasta, but I'm just going to blend some parmesan, just adding my pasta to my oil, chili flake and garlic. I don't know what it is, but something about pasta that's been toasted, it just tastes so good. And in here, I'm adding some salt. I found these chili peppers filled with cheese in my cupboard, so I'm just going to add a few of these, a bit of the oil. Clove of garlic, some lovely organic double cream, oh my goodness. Didn't say this was a healthy recipe, it's a delicious one. Double cream, handful of walnuts. Okay, pasta is now on the high heat and I'm adding my bone broth to make it super yummy. So the pasta actually cooks in the bone broth. I cannot even begin to explain how yummy this makes the pasta. I'm going to pour a bit more water in here and rinse it out into there as well. Okay, the pasta is pretty much done. I'm adding in my sauce now. It's quite thick. I could have done more cream, but I think once I stir it in, it'll be all right. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And I'm just adding a small handful of spinach from the garden. Yummy. I literally add spinach to everything now that it's growing well, and I might start some more spinach seeds tomorrow. Looks like a bowl of soup, which I don't mind. Love a lot of sauce. And this is actually just so full of goodness. Cheese and cream as well, but walnuts, spinach, bone broth, tomatoes, chili peppers. I cannot wait to tuck in. Hello my darlings, it's the next day. Excuse my hair. I was so tired last night after making my pasta that I did not end up finishing off the lilac biscuits. So I'm going to do that now. They have been in the fridge overnight, so I hope that the dough is rock hard. I'm going to have to give it a little bit of time to thaw out. Our freezer is very cold. Okay, I'll be back with you in half an hour probably. This is going to take to thaw out. I did not think that through. Okay, back in the kitchen. So I've got just a couple of bunches of lilac. That last bush that I showed you, it's still, a lot of it is still in bud. I'm pretty sure you would be able to pickle these and have them as almost like a caper, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm just going to be using the flowers. The other bush that we've got has plenty of flowers. So I'm going to make a lilac ice cream. In previous years, I've made rhubarb and rose ice cream. They always have a vanilla ice cream base. So that's kind of tried and tested. I do mine in the Thermomix. Yes, I'm wearing a thermal underneath my shirt because it's still, when the sun goes behind the clouds, it's still quite chilly. Anyway, so I'm basically gonna make my vanilla ice cream recipe, but add plenty of lilac flowers where I would have added the rhubarb, and I will also put solid whole flowers in as I'm freezing it so that they hopefully will just remain beautiful when I'm actually kind of serving it. And then maybe I'll do some fresh ones when I'm serving it too. Do we think it's going to freeze in time? It might be one for tomorrow, but yeah, you can definitely follow like a generic vanilla ice cream recipe online, but as always I like to cheat and use a Thermomix because it just saves on so much washing up. safe to say that this has been a labour of love. It takes not the shortest amount of time to put these together, but I have been multitasking, doing other things in the meantime. But I have had a taster and can confirm these are seriously delicious.